This morning's journey brings us to the question of intentions. You could have seen that the title of this sermon is The Best of Intentions. And kind of the undercurrent of it is, and the question that I have for you today, the question that I've been struggling with this week, is what does it mean to live a life with intention? What does intention mean to each of us individually, and also to live with intention in community with one another? So the question kind of first started for me at Boston's Pride for the People last year. It was the first time in a bit that Harvard was getting a float together. I am a soon-to-be graduate from Harvard Divinity School, and thank you. Yay to all of us graduates and potential graduates. It's coming. And so I was also working at the Office for BGLTQ Student Life. I was a graduate assistant there. And I was really excited because other than the Calle Ocho, so I'm from Miami, so Calle Ocho means 8th Street, which is in the heart of Little Havana in Miami. So other than the Calle Ocho Pride Festival Parade, I can't remember the exact moniker for that particular celebration, but other than that one, I had never really been to a Pride event. And it was kind of like a dream. No, it was a real dream of mine to go. I brought my dog, Foxy, along. She's kind of a mascot to certain places. And she's my unofficial therapy dog. So Foxy and I go, and has anyone here been to Boston Pride or a large Pride celebration? Okay, a few folks here, more than a few folks. And what I had learned is I'm fairly new to Boston. I'm only kind of 3.5 years in, I think. And they hadn't had one for about a year at least. And so this was renamed as Boston's Pride for the People. I think it was recentering folks of color in some of the planning. Again, I was not involved in that planning, but I was involved with the planning for the float. Foxy and I agreed to show up, and our planning was that we brought the QAFIS, the Office for BGLTQ Student Life, which we lovingly call the QAFIS, had this banner. And so we took the banner, we took ourselves, and we're trying to find where we're supposed to meet this float. And we're trying to find one another. Exactly who one another are, we're not sure, because it was this Harvard group of alums and faculty members, staff, students, from all the different silos, if you will, which are Harvard. So Foxy and I get there. She's petted quite a bit along the way. She's very cute. And I end up talking to this kind person who was prepared for this event. They were wearing a hat, like a straw hat. They were wearing a comfortable shirt. I was passing out stickers, and they were so kind. And they took one of the QAFIS stickers, and they put it on their shirt. And I proceeded to have a conversation with them. And it turns out that they were an administrator who, when I asked them how they decided to be there or why they were there, they're like, well, I think it's important to choose the places that you go to with intention. Because I knew this person had to have a flood of emails waiting for them on a Saturday morning. So to take more time out of one's very busy life, to spend more time at work, if you will, right, is a big deal. And as we're kind of waiting to get on that float and or decide whether we're gonna sit on it or walk, I just couldn't stop thinking about what does it mean to be intentionable. Maybe that's a new one. It's intentionable. To be intentional about showing up somewhere. Showing up for community. And I would even say, and I hope they'd agree with me, that it's showing up for oneself as well. Because that feeling of sitting on there, on that float, surrounded by all these folks, I couldn't imagine there'd be so many people. Many folks were still masked, many were not, and we were moving our way together. And Foxy got lots of love that day. She got pets from pets. So I think now in this season of, this holy season, for so many, for those who identify as Christian, it's Lent. Got about 2 weeks left of it. For those who identify as Muslim, it's Ramadan. And Passover is coming up for folks who identify as Jewish. And if I did not acknowledge a celebration of this season for you, however it is you celebrate it, I invite you to let me know afterwards what I missed. So hopefully I don't miss it again. But as we gather in this sacredness, this time of intention, I would say, if a good deal of practices are shifted in order to shift the heart towards something greater than oneself, whether it's the energy that flows between us, named and unnamed, collective, seemingly individual, and yet interconnected, our bodies shift at this time. Because what's around us is shifting too. Someone told me this week that the crocuses started coming out. I definitely noticed the robins, and the downy woodpeckers were back in what felt like full force. I mean, they made themselves known. What I've learned from one of my teachers, Dr. Eunice Kumek, who has been teaching some of us here too in our Sufism class, is that a core part of Islam is that that God knows and sees our intentions. Now, when I heard, for coming from I was formerly raised Catholic, and coming from that, this Christian saying that that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I'm not gonna lie. I first heard this and I was like, how is my heart gonna reconcile these two? Can it? Right? And if we're talking about these Abrahamic traditions that are coming, from the same roots, there has to be some sort of connection. They have to be intertwined in a way that maybe I'm not seeing. Maybe the word intention and my definition of it, or the one I was raised with, maybe it needs a little more capaciousness. So, what can it mean for, I would say, us, because many of us here are Unitarian Universalists? And these are the words that I've kind of come away with. So I'm going to throw them out at you, and I'm going to guide us through some questions that I ask for you to sit with for yourself. Because again, my role up here, I hope, and again, you call me into this too, is not prescriptive. I see this shared ministry that we are in together as more of a kindling of the flames of intention with each of us. So these are the words that came to me this week. Under intention, action. For you, where is that line between, okay, there's that intent, that hope, that desire that for some is seen and acknowledged by God, or spirit of life, or maybe not acknowledged by anyone or anything else at all, but is there. You are trying and striving for the thing. And sometimes we can get really hard on ourselves with action, right? Well, I didn't take action. So then, and I'm going to have, physical, literal, or metaphorical hell as a result, right? That's the other kind of move. And I would say a judgmental move, But we Unitarian Universalists are people of nuance, or at least we strive to be. So nuance is the other word that I give to you, along with these questions of intention. Nuance in community, which is hard, because it takes a lot of patience. And it can take time. And in a world where I come from a legal background, time is of the essence. It's hard to sit and wait. So, what does practice mean to you in community that's capacious and nuanced, that wants to take action, but we know that part of the striving is striving to take that action with intention? Thank you for your attention.